I'm here today in honor of the Women's Memorial March. Today, Indigenous women, girls, 2S, LGBTQIA+, and allies are marching in various marches across Canada in honor of loved ones who have gone missing or murdered or have experienced unprecedented amounts of violence. And we know, as the Prime Minister acknowledged, an ongoing genocide against Indigenous women and girls continues to this day. Yet, as we mark this tremendously important day in honor of lost loved ones, we know that the crisis of violence is in fact not improving at all. It's increasing. And what has the government done? They have responded to 2 calls for justice. It's been almost 5 years since the release of the National Inquiry into murdered and missing Indigenous women and girls. And yet, we have to beg for safety, security, and dignity. I was proud that I, along with families and advocates, with support of the NDP and our leader, Jagmeet Singh, have been pushing to put in place a red dress alert. And I'm happy to say it's progressing. However, every day that we wait, every day that this initiative does not get out the door, somebody else goes missing or murdered. And we know that the current systems are not doing enough to deal with this crisis. And we know, even in the area of policing, calls to justice 9.1 to 9.11, we know even in the area of policing, the response has been inadequate. So on this critical day, I send my love, support, and solidarity to all the individuals marching today to end the violence against Indigenous women and girls, 2S, LGBTQIA+. And I call on this government once again to stop idly standing by while this ongoing genocide continues as we continue to lose our loved ones. We are human beings deserving of dignity and safety. Thank you.
What movement has been made on the landfill search in Winnipeg? What talks have been going on with Premier Wabkanu?
Well, I know that the federal government is currently in talks with the province, from what I understand. However, the fact in this country that the genocide is so normalized that we had to fight to have the landfill searched. The fact that it is so normalized that the loved ones that we are searching for are in a garbage dump speaks to the need for a change of systems to deal with ongoing systemic racism. Families should not have to beg to have their loved ones brought home.
First Nations leaders are outside of this building right now calling on Ottawa to oppose the nuclear waste facility. First Nations are saying they weren't consulted. Would the NDP support their call for Ottawa to oppose this nuclear waste site?
I can tell you this is not the first time that the Liberal government, and including the Conservatives, have not supported the free, prior and informed consent of Indigenous peoples. We passed Bill C-15 in the last Parliament. This government has a duty to consult with Indigenous peoples. They have failed, and we support the NDP supports the free, prior and informed consent of Indigenous peoples.
Would you rally your party to oppose the project itself?
We absolutely support the free, prior and informed consent of Indigenous people. We have a constitutional obligation. The First Nations communities that are protesting have a right to say yes or no, or yes with conditions, and we support that human right. Thank you.
On pharmacare, we heard Anne McGrath today on the Vashi Capello show say nothing has been presented by the government to you guys since December. What is the state of the negotiations right now?
I'm in very active and almost daily contact with Minister Holland, and I can tell you that we're we're exchanging proposals and ideas constantly.
So as we come towards March 1st, what is your level of confidence that something will be in place?
Well, I'm an optimist, you know. And,
yeah, but this is also politics. I mean, and
Well,
the reality of it is that you had your leader yesterday coming out very strong, saying March 1st is coming, and if it isn't universal single payer, then the deal's off.
I wouldn't be an optimist if I weren't in, or I wouldn't be in politics, I guess, if I weren't an optimist. You know, my job is to work diligently and to try to find the common ground to deliver on what we wanted for Canadians. We want to make sure that, you know, every diabetic in this country, we want to make sure they can get the insulin they need. Every young woman who needs contraception, we want to make sure she can get the contraception she needs. These are the kind of things that we're working towards, and I'm going to keep working right to the bell until we know if we get that. And I'm confident with goodwill on both sides that we can get there.
So if Anne McGrath doesn't seem to be confident, why are you so confident?
Well, you know, I think everybody on our side is hopeful. We're optimistic. I mean, this is our demand. You know, the Confidence Supply Agreement is not a list of Liberal demands. These are NDP demands. Mm-hmm. We said to Canadians that we would work for these things and do everything we can to get them. And so I remain confident. I think Ms. McGrath and everybody in our team is optimistic and hopeful. But we are approaching the deadline, and the bell's coming soon, and we're going to work as hard as we can until that time. But, you know, confidence is in the eye of the beholder. I think we can get there.
Okay. Thank you so much. I appreciate it, Mr. Davies.
Any thoughts on the protest that we just saw in the comments?
I think that it's always important to respect the views that Canadians have, all views, and I think that's what's wonderful about Canada. But I think what you heard the Prime Minister respond to is that the situation in the situation with the Palestinians is absolutely heartbreaking and terrible, and we are calling for a sustained ceasefire. We are, and we are continuing, and we will have to continue to work towards peace and a two-state solution. And we'll just keep doing that work. Thanks so much.
Any thoughts on the protests that we just saw in the House?
Well, we need to make sure that we allow groups to have their voices, and that's exactly what happened, and then we resumed our business.
An MP was coughing in another party, is that appropriate? Madame, avez-vous des pensées sur la manifestation qu'on vient de voir?
Les gens ont le droit de manifester. Il y a toujours un moment, puis un temps, une manière de le faire. Est-ce que durant la période des questions, c'était le bon moment? Selon le protocole, non. Mais pour attirer l'attention, c'est un moment, votre présence démontre que ça a fonctionné comme tactique.
Avez-vous, vous, un autre député, applaudi pendant la manifestation?
Si on a... oui, on a entendu certains députés applaudir à notre gauche, à la Chambre des communes.
Néo-démocrates.
Voilà. Certains députés néo-démocrates.
Vous avez-vous lequel?
Malheureusement, non.
Okay.
Avez-vous des pensées sur si c'est approprié de faire ça, d'applaudir dans ce moment?
Selon leur intention, s'ils veulent démontrer qu'ils appuient les civils palestiniens, qui ont le droit à leur opinion, que les civils palestiniens n'ont pas à vivre ce qu'ils vivent actuellement. Il n'y a aucun civil qui mérite de vivre dans la peur, dans la guerre, dans la peur du viol, de voir des familles déchirées, que ce soit des civils palestiniens ou des civils israéliens. Il faut faire vraiment la différence entre les gouvernements et les civils.
Mais dans ce moment-là, est-ce que c'était approprié d'applaudir les manifestants?
Je laisse ça à leur conscience. Je laisse ça à leur conscience. Je vous souhaite une belle journée.
Merci beaucoup.
Well, I think anyone who comes here needs to abide by the rules, the rules of the House of Commons. If we want to have orderly debates, people need to respect the rules. Everyone is welcome in this place, but I think people are also expected to abide by the rules because that's how this place functions, and this is the seat of democracy for Canada, so that's would be my views on that. Listen, it's for people who deal with law enforcement and other matters to decide that. What I'm saying is that, this is a place for orderly debate. That's where we people debate ideas, and everyone is welcome, like I said. But here, like in other public places, people are expected to abide by the rules of the House of Commons.
Sorry, some MPs saw other MPs clapping. Do you think that's appropriate?
To be honest, from where I'm sitting, I just, I have the leader of the opposition in front of me, and I guess that's enough.
Would that be appropriate, though?
I've not seen him. I just have to watch him, and trust me, that's more than full. So, have a nice day, everyone. Merci to
Merci.
Took note that some inshore fishers who rely on the redfish fishery were kind of upset. I think they were protesting in your town. Just wonder if you talk about that. I've seen fisheries politics, took out the last fisheries minister down there in Bridgeport. That can be a bit of a time bomb for a politician if you got the wrong
Look,
side.
David, thanks so much for the question. I've been at home listening to fishers in the riding, fishers inshore, offshore, processors, harvesters, Indigenous communities. I know they're disappointed in the decision. I'm up here working with Minister Letellier and talking to see what other options are out there. Look, as you know, David, the fishing sector is up and down, and
Talk about eel fishing too today in New Brunswick, Nova Scotia.
the fishery is never an easy keel, to take a boating pun. But, we also have to realize that the shrimp stocks are plummeting too. So what are we doing to help our shrimp harvesters as well in that area? It's called the otter trawler fleet. So we're in conversations. Look, there's never any easy decisions on the fishery, but I'm hoping we're going to be able to sit down and chat and make it a positive go forward for everyone.
Okay, that's great. Thank you.